afflicted the child that Uriah's wife bore to David, and he became sick. David therefore sought God on behalf of the child. And David fasted and went in and lay all night on the ground. And the elders of his house stood beside him to raise him from the ground, but he would not, nor did he eat food with them. Nor did he eat what? Say it with some life. Nor did he eat what? Nor did he eat what? So you see, fasting, I'm going to keep telling you this as long as I'm pastor, is abstaining from food. It's not, I took a smoothie, I had a salad. No, fasting is a period of time where you do not engage in eating any food for the specific purpose of, number one, getting direction from God, getting an answer from God, maybe asking God to do something supernatural for you. If you feel like you're not growing spiritually, the question is, do you fast? Because if you fast, it will draw you closer to God. Okay? So fasting is abstaining from what? Now, consecration is, I'm going to set myself some time, 6 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. I'm going to eat, but I'm not doing internet. I'm not doing TikTok. I'm not doing Facebook. I'm just solely reading the Bible, just focused on God. I'm going to consecrate myself with God. But that's still eating. Fasting is a consecrated time with God, but it's abstaining from food. On the seventh day, the child died. And the servants of David were afraid to tell him that the child was dead. For they said, behold, while the child was yet alive, we spoke to him, and he did not listen to us. How can we say to him, the child is dead? He may do himself some harm. But when David saw that his servants were whispering together, David understood that the child was dead. And David said to his servants, is the child dead? They said, he is dead. Then David arose from the earth and washed and anointed himself and changed his clothes. He went into the house of the Lord and worshiped. He then went to his own house, and when he asked, they set food before him, and he ate. So he's been praying this child would live. God says no. The child dies. Okay? And then his servant said to him, what is this thing that you have done? You fasted and wept for the child while he was alive. But when the child died, you arose and ate food. David says a theological statement, but a biblical statement. He said, while the child was still alive, I fasted and wept, for I said, who knows whether the Lord will be gracious to me, that the child may live. But now he is dead. Why should I fast? Can I bring him back again? I shall go to him, but he shall not return to me. This is a very important theological lesson for all of us. If you see a baby that's dead, a baby that dies, we don't have to wonder where the soul of a baby went. A baby automatically goes to heaven because a baby doesn't have the ability to determine right from wrong. It does not have it's not at the age of accountability or moral accountability to be able to distinguish if it wants the Lord to serve him for the rest of his days. So that's an automatic. Babies are entered into the very presence of God when they die, right? That's incredibly important. We're not saying Pookie, who's 30, ain't a baby, okay? So Pookie can determine if he want to go to heaven or not. And no matter what the pastor says where he went, we don't determine. No matter how many of y'all get up there and testify, he up there in heaven. We don't make that determination. Amen, church. So now then David comforted his wife Bathsheba and went in to her and lay with her, and she bore a son, and he called his name Solomon, and the Lord loved him. You may be seen in the presence of the Lord. I want to talk to you for a few moments of time, fire in the house. The sermon about fire in the house is a very important one because it's dealing with keeping your fire for God. Right, and last week we talked about restoring to me the joy of your salvation, because a lot of times we want God to restore to us the joy of my salvation. There's no joy in my salvation, like I told you last week. But there's nothing that kills your fire more than you praying to God for an answer and you not getting it. Most people love God until God doesn't answer their prayer the way they want it. And I want to have a conversation with you. So most of you serve God. We're on Facebook, tell people, I go to TKC, I love my church, I all that good stuff. And then when life happens to us, we end up letting the fire that we once had fade away. Now David is fasting. He's trying to get God to agree that you will let my child stay alive. Now I know I did wrong. I know I wasn't supposed to be with Bathsheba. I know all of that, God. But because I'm going to fast and trust that if I fast, you're going to have compassion on me, you're going to have mercy on me, and you're going to let my child live. And I'm going to fast for 7 days. He fasted for 7 days, water only, not eating anything, water only. That's all he did, water only. That's all he did, water only. He's fasting for 7 days. And even though he's fasting for 7 days, God gives him this response. Your child is dead. He sees his servants talking, and he asks them the question, what y'all whispering about? And they were scared to tell him the news. Yeah, man, your child is dead. And here's the thing. Fasting can get God to change his mind towards you. But fasting can't get God to be manipulated by what you want. So what David was trying to do is he was saying, I'm not trying to manipulate God. I know I'm wrong. I'm hoping that if I fast, God would have mercy on me. When you have a decision to make, you're trying to get something done, you're trying to get a new job, you're trying to get a new opportunity, it is a good thing that you fast because God can anoint you to do what you need to do in the interview. It's not your resume that's going to get you the job. It's God anointing you to do what you need to do, so when you answer the questions, you answer them according to what they need to give you the job. Have you ever been prepared for something and then you got in the moment and you fumbled it? Fasting is, God, help me, help me, help me, help me. So now here's the thing. According to the biblical law, there was no, Old Testament did not have Jesus die. So somebody need to pay for this sin. David, according to law, should have been dead. God did give David mercy. He didn't kill him, but the child had to pay. Now here's the thing that we oftentimes miss. Sometimes you get a consequence that's lesser than what you should have got, but you don't appreciate God's mercy because you thought you should have got a get out of jail card for free. There are some of us, God gave us probation when we should have got 3 years. And we should be thankful for what God has done. So now here's what David does, right? David is saying this. Some fires are not extinguished by demons. We don't always have to give the devil credit. Some of us master in Satan did this, Satan did that, the devil did this, the devil did that, the devil did this. You and I must understand that some of our fire is not quenched by demons. They're quenched by disappointment, denial, delay, unguarded grief. So I want to talk to you from this subject title, and I need you to repeat it when I tell you. Guard the gates. No. I said I'm going to tell you when to repeat it. Just listen. Don't follow me. Follow instructions. See, you're going to get us arrested. You don't follow instructions. You know what I'm saying? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Say the subject title. Guard the gates. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that was weak. Say it like you ate breakfast. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that still was weak. Say it like you ate at Waffle House last night. 1, 2, 3. Guard the gates. And you might be asking, what are the gates? The gates are your mind. You ever been having a good day and your mind went somewhere and now your day is ruined because your mind went somewhere? You ever were in a good mood and your mind went somewhere and now all of a sudden you're just not in a good mood? You were just fine a second ago and you thought about something, you heard something, and all of a sudden your mind, you got to do what? Say with some life, you got to do what? It's not just your mind. You ever started listening to yourself and your mouth calls you to be in a bad space. Listen, you may not be having a good day, but you don't got to speak that your days are always going to be like this, because whatever you speak, that's what you will have. Proverbs 18:24 says, the words that you speak, they have power. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. It is not to ignore what you're going through. You are not to be like, oh, I'm sick, and I'm not sick. I'm not sick. I'm good. No, I am sick, but I will not stay sick because God is my healer. Do you see how the but changes what's in front of it? Because I recognize that I'm not going to be like the Christians that act like it's not happening. I'm broke in this season. I am temporary out of blessings in this season, but my season will not be like this forever, because God is faithful, because God provides. I may not finish my schooling because I don't have financial aid, but I know God's gonna make a way somehow. I cannot let my mouth, I've got to guard the gate. I cannot let the news enter into my gate. If you're one that panics when you watch the news because they're gerrymandering and now you can't vote and now you're upset about this and you're upset about, maybe you need to not watch the news and guard the gates. You need to make sure that gates are entry points and they're exit points. You got to guard the gates. You ever felt good about a person and you let somebody who had a bad experience with that person come into your life, tell you about the person, now you looking at that person sideways? You need to learn how to guard the gate, because your experience with them doesn't mean that's my experience, and let me listen to what you say, but let me build my own relationship, and I must learn how to people who don't even go to church because someone told them something that they experienced that 1,000 other people did not experience. You gotta guard the gates. You go to TK, say, I don't go to that church. Why? They say it's a fashion show. They say they check your W-2s. You're so dumb. You ain't never even been here. So you need to learn how to guard the gates. You need to learn how to guard the gates. Because if you don't guard your gates, you'll end up cursing a life that's blessed because you listen to someone tell you, you know what, you should be doing more in life. You were doing fine with your Toyota Corolla, and then somebody comes around talking about why you got that type of car. Now you looking at your car sideways and your car looking at you sideways because we were both friends and we were both good until you started talking to somebody else. You need to learn how to guard the gates for your mind. You gotta guard the gates for your eyes. You gotta guard the gates for your memory. You gotta guard the gates for your mouth, because if you don't, it can send you on a way that you don't want to be on. And here's the thing. David loves God, cares about God, but has found himself with a real situation that all of us will find ourselves in. Solomon says this: time and chance happen to us all. Time and chance happen to us all. Okay, on social media it's real. There's a guy driving his car and a plane ends up hitting him while he's driving his car. How in the world does that happen? Time and chance happen to us all. There's some things that just happen because we live in this world. And if you live long enough, it's just going to happen. Now, you might be sitting there thinking with your educated self, well, why doesn't God stop everything? Well, if God stopped everything, then why would we live? If I know that anything that I do that's wrong, God's going to stop, then 9 out of 10, I'm going to keep doing it because I know God's going to fix it in the end. If God fixes everything in the end, then we don't have free will, and therefore, God is not allowing us to show his love for him. We know that God's going to fix everything. Now, let me give you an example. If God finishes the master's program, decide that the future is bright, but I decide today I'm going to go run out in the middle of I-4. And I'm just going to go run in the middle of traffic and see what happens. And I get hit and killed. And some of you would say, I can't believe God allowed that to happen. Well, did God allow it to happen, or did my choice allow it to happen? See, what we want to do is we want to blame God for our self-sabotage. David could have easily said, this is God's fault. How could you let my child die and not step in? But what David had to recognize was the only reason why you're in this situation is because of the decisions that you made. Some of us are blaming the devil when we should be blaming our decisions. So here's what happens. David experiences what many of us would hate to experience, but we will. The uncertainty of life. That you could pray about a thing and it still not go your way. This is in the text. He prayed. He didn't just pray. He fasted for 7 days. And they start whispering like, man, y'all heard me? And he looks like, he's like, what's going on? Is my son dead? They say, yeah, he's dead. But notice what happens. David doesn't freeze where failure happened. And most of us get stuck at my son is dead. Now don't sanitize the text. It is human for us to grieve. Scripture says weeping may endure, Psalm, weeping may endure for a night, but what? No, I know church, we love to focus on that. Joy, we love that part. But it doesn't tell you how long the night is. Your night might be a week. Your night might be a month. Your night might be 5 months. Your night might be a year. But at some point, you've got to find joy because weeping will stay forever if you freeze in that space. Now, here's what David does, and I think we can learn from it. When disappointment goes unmanaged, it becomes an entry point. Because pain is dangerous, because pain leaves the gate open. You got to guard the gate. And the reason why our gates don't get guarded is because of pain. David shows us something to do when pain happens. Number one, it's right in your Bible. It says this, and then David does what? He washes himself. He washes himself. Why does he wash himself? He's got dirt on him. He's been laying before the Lord. And he decides, I do not want to identify with what I went through. So I got to wash myself. And some of us are sitting in the same season that happened years ago because we don't want to wash ourselves. You may not be able to control what happens to you, but you can manage how it comes through you. And you don't want to be the person that is bitter because a season made you bitter. A season can make you bitter, but you don't want that season to become your character. And a lot of us are defined by where we fail. Well, my dad wasn't there. We understand that. We know that. We recognize that. My mama didn't give me enough hugs. We understand that. We recognize, but if you stay there, here's one thing I learned. Starbucks is still going to be open in the morning. McDonald's is still going to keep on going. Walmart is still going to keep on functioning. And people are going to text you the first day that you went through your tragedy, and by day 3, they done moved on and you're just stuck by yourself. And the reality is I must wash myself. I got to wash myself. David says, you know what? I'm going to wash myself because I refuse to be buried where I was. Now, number 2, it says he washed himself and then he changed his clothes. I don't want anything that reminds me of my yesterday to be part of my today. Sometimes you have to distance yourself from what used to bring you comfort so that you can now have peace. No, you didn't hear what I said. Sometimes you got to distance yourself from what you used to love because you need to now have peace. Because if I'm trying to guard my gate, I need to change my clothes. I cannot continue to carry the clothes of my yesterday into my today. And even when I want to move forward, it's still going to creep into my today. You got to guard the gates. And number 2, he anointed himself. Now, I know this is a new type of church. We don't do this. But in the old church, they used to go to the store, Publix. They used to get this big bottle of virgin olive oil. And they used to bring it to the church and say, can y'all pray for this, Nate? Can y'all pray? Nate, can you pray for this? I need you to pray for this oil. I need you to pray for this oil so you can anoint this oil. And the pastor would pray for it, and then you would use it to anoint your children. You would use it to anoint your doorposts. You would use it to anoint yourself. And the anointing in the Old Testament was a sign of God's empowering ability. You and I will go through things that will make the natural person break, but we need the anointing to keep us going. We need the oil of God to keep us going. We need the oil of gladness for our sadness. We need the oil of God to help us. It doesn't mean you don't feel it. It just simply means that God brought me joy even in the season of weeping. God got me peace even in the midst of trial. It doesn't remove the trial, but it gives me peace that surpasses all understanding. I don't have to drink myself to sleep. I don't have to smoke myself to get happy. I can find peace in God. It doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt. It doesn't mean that it doesn't feel good. But I ask God to anoint me so that I can go through things that destroy others, but I am sustained not by my own power, but by the oil of God. You and I need oil. You need oil to get out of the funky season you've been in. You need oil to get out of the season that you don't want to get out the bed. You need oil. You may need a therapist, but you also need oil. You may need to sit on someone's couch, but you also need oil. If you don't have oil, it means absolutely nothing, because you will have a house and not have a home. You will have a pillow and not have rest. I need oil to help me anoint myself. We used to anoint our kids to school. We would put oil on them and say, Lord, cover them as they go. Cover them. And where do we get this from? Psalm 23. He anoints my head with oil. He anoints my head with oil. He anoints my head with oil. Psalm 23, y'all remember that? He anoints my head with oil. Y'all remember Psalm 23, Sunday school? He anoints my head with oil. Why did he anoint their heads with oil? He anointed who? He anointed sheep's head with oil. The reason why he anointed sheep's head with oil is so that whenever the enemy, the adversary, those that wanted to eat the sheep would try to grab the sheep, their hands would slip off because of the oil. You and I need oil. You need oil. You need some stuff not to stick on you. It's there, but it ain't sticking. It's there, but it ain't sticking. It's around, but it ain't sticking. It's in my house, but it's not on me. It's not on me because it's not sticking, because he anoints me with what? You got to guard your gates. But now, he doesn't just anoint himself with oil. It says this: he goes to the house and worships. He goes to the house. Now, wait a minute. Y'all can't sanitize the text. I know it's easy to do. Oh, yeah, that's where. Listen, he had a child. The child doesn't live. He makes up in his mind that I'm going to go to worship. He could have said, I'm going to go home and be mad. He could have said, I'm going to go and complain. But he's guarding his gates. He understands that eventually, if you keep going to worship, the fire that you have on the inside of you, your worship will be the oxygen that the fire needs to keep it going. Okay, let me give you an example. He understands the longer that I sit in the presence of God, the more I'll feel the presence of God. And you don't always feel like going to church, but this is why we give the Lord a sacrifice of praise. What's a sacrifice of praise? I don't feel like giving it to you, but I give it to you anyway. I don't want to give it to you, but I give it to you anyway. I didn't want to go to church this morning, but I made up in my mind, I owe God something. I don't know what it is that I'm going to give God something. God, I'm mad right now. I'm not even feeling it, but I made up in my mind, you've been too good. I got enough evidence that you've been good to me because I got to guard my. So David's looking at, my son is dead, but you spared my life. So in every cloud, there is a silver lining. I may not see it right away, because remember, church, I've taught you this, and if you're first time here, you never understand a season while you're in it. You understand it when you come out of it. Have you ever been in something you're like, I don't even know why I'm in it, and then when you came out of it, you're like, oh, thank God I went through that. I learned so much. I grew so much. You didn't have that testimony while you were in it, and this is why God says, just be patient. It will all make sense soon after a while. I will make it make sense for you. It may not add up right now. It may not always add up the way that you want, but here's what God is teaching you. You go to worship. Because when you go to worship, you're like, man, I ain't feeling that song. I ain't feeling that song. They're singing, this is the air I breathe. I don't feel it. But the longer you stay in it, you start being like, man, this is the air I breathe. Yeah, your holy word. Yeah, living in me. Yeah, this is, and you find yourself finding God in the midst of challenge. Because your spirit will summon your soul to find it soon enough. And David goes to worship. This is very important. Because you don't grow running away from God. You need to learn how to run to Him. Because we live in a generation when things go bad, we go away from Him. Because we feel like when things go bad, He's the source of allowing it to go bad. When in actuality, it defines our relationship when trials come, which direction you go. Here it is. He goes to worship. Just lost his child. He goes to worship. Not just he goes to worship. He goes to worship because he understands something that most of you don't want to admit. Bathsheba's at home. She had the child. She's the one that now has to be told, your baby you carried for 9 months is gone. And he has to have the strength to go tell her. This is a very, very, very powerful part that most of us miss. He realizes, I still got to show up for people even though I don't feel it myself. Come a little closer. Some of you have been parked in that season for so long, and you got your own Bathshebas waiting for you to come comfort them, but you haven't been able to comfort them because you've been parked in that season forever. He goes to Bathsheba, and he starts comforting her, because here's the thought that I want you to understand. The maturity of this all. Here's the thought. The danger is not just the death of the child. The danger is the death of your fire. Listen to me. Sometimes life will take what you think you want and need, which you do, because it's not just after that, it's after something else. No, I'm going to let you lose your job. I know you need your job, but I'm not after your job. I'm going to use your job to get what really matters, which is your faith. I'm not after your marriage per se. I want your marriage, but I'm really after you. And I will use anything to distract you from the fire that keeps you warm. Because the only reason why most of us are steady is because the fire of God has kept us warm, even when life has been cold. But when you turn the fire off, you start to recognize, okay, let me give you an example. You don't understand. You ever been in your car? And you're in your car and you're like, ooh, I'm hot. It's Florida, be hot. I don't know how you're not saved if you go to Florida. You go to Florida, you're like, boy, it's like hell every day. You should be right with God every summer. But you get in your car, you turn the AC on, and then you feel like, I'm good, I don't need the AC anymore. And I turn the AC off, and in about 10 seconds, I'm like, shoot, I need this AC. What I'm playing with. This is exactly what it is with God. It is like, I need you to turn the fire off, and you don't realize how much the fire has been keeping you warm. when life has been cold. And it's when you turn the fire off, you start to recognize, why do I feel so much pain? Why do I feel so much anger? Why do I feel so much hatred? Why? Because you turned the fire off. Now here's what David does. He comforts his wife because he understands this principle that just because I stopped doesn't mean life stops. This is not leave this service and say, oh man, when things happen, I just need to keep moving on. No, you have a right to pause. Hear what I said? You have a right to pause. No one can tell you how long to pause. But I am saying you don't have a right to park. You have a right to pause, but you don't have a right to park. Because life will happen to all of us. And how you respond. Now, how in the world is David writing all these psalms about how much he loves God and he was afflicted by God because of his own decision? Your relationship has to be deeper than what's happening in your life. Because what happens in your life will immediately reflect what's happening in your soul. Y'all just missed what I said. What's happening in your life, your relationship with God has to be deeper than what's happening in your life. Because what's happened in your life will show you what is happening in your soul. And David recognizes this principle. I understand something principally, David says. I can't change what has happened. You need to get over that. You can't bring back what you wanted to bring back. And what we oftentimes do is we blame what happened on ourselves because we think if I would have done something, it would have been different. And I need you to stop parking there, because you park there so long, you start to believe what you're saying to yourself that's not true, but because you don't guard your gates, it's now true to you. If I told you something long enough, you'll eventually believe it. And here's what God is trying to get us all awakened to. You got to guard your gates. Your joy is being stolen because you ain't guarded your gates. I'm not saying things are not going to happen that you don't agree. I'm not saying none of that. I am saying that even though they do happen, I got to guard my gates, because if I sit in it too long, I'll be in a cycle that becomes a season of life. Because some of you, one day you're good, then the next day, you real bad. One day you're happy. The next day, people don't know who we're dealing with. You got to look at your life and say, man, how could David go through all of this and still have the joy of the Lord? Because he didn't let his fire dim. He recognized heaven and earth will pass away. People will pass away. I can lose things. I can lose a car. I can lose a chariot. I can lose a kingship. But if I don't lose God, I got everything I need to get it back again. And most of the things that are distracting you from your fire are trying to steal your fire. And you don't recognize your fire's been stolen because you're still stuck on your son is dead. If you stay in that season, the year will change and your life will remain the same. And God won't be able to write a new story with your life because you're still parked at the words that were painful, and they were real, and they were true, and it was unfair, and it was too early. But if you park there, what about Bathsheba? What about your children who are the Bathsheba? They're waiting on you to comfort them, but you're parked there. I give you permission to pause. And I'm done. Here's what happened. He lays with her. He lays with her, y'all. He lays with her, and he gets another son. He gets a son. He calls his name Solomon. The Hebrew derivative of Solomon is the word peace. Let me tell you this. Most people will preach this happy. Oh, God gave him another son, and God's going to give you peace. You could have a new son, but it don't replace the son you lost. So what is God teaching us? I can give you a new season that doesn't remove what you felt, but repairs the damage of what you went through. Do you think when David looks at Solomon, the wisest man in the world, I'm sure he's proud of Solomon. He's the wisest man in the world. But I'm sure he looks at him and says, I wonder what it would be like if that was my other child that died. I'm sure he looks at him and says, man, I love you, son, but I wonder how you would be if my other son still made it. Because here's the tension that God tries to teach us. God will give us grace to manage a new normal. No music. I want you to hear this, and I'm done. Because we gotta go. Cheesecake Factory is getting busy. Walking in the blessing of God is God helping you learn how to live in the tension of what should be, but what is not. Even when you pray, God's giving you that tension. He's saying, pray that it is in heaven as it is on the earth. So I need to pray like it's happening in the earth because it's happening in heaven, even though I don't see it happening. When we graduated yesterday, I sat there and looked at all of the disciplines. And I said, as smart as the president of the school, he has six degrees from six different disciplines, so that no discipline can tell him about their department and he don't understand it. Right? So he has a degree in every sector, so that the sectors cannot tell him about their performance or their job because he has a degree in their field. But he still doesn't have enough wisdom to stop death. Now, we've developed ice cream. What an amazing gift. Whoever developed that, incredible. I could imagine, right? Whoever developed waffles, oh my God, I don't know who it was. Whoever developed the Snickers bars, oh my God, I don't know who did that. I mean, Skittles had to be word from God. I mean, it's just incredible. But we haven't been able to figure out how to conquer death. So because all of us will experience death, and all of us will experience loss, we must learn how to live between the swings of feeling loss but not being lost. Now, here's where we got to go. The reason why we have people come up and pray with you, because we don't want you to disacknowledge the reality that some seasons you do feel lost. Because a loss can make you feel lost. But the problem is if you stay lost too long, you'll never find your way home. It's okay to be lost. Right? We driving, summertime. We're not driving too much because gas is way too high, so we're driving a little bit. We lost for a few minutes. It's cool in the game. Y'all know where you're going? Nah, I'm going to figure it out. I think we need to go right. Cool. 2 extra minutes? I think we're supposed to make a left. No, GPS is rerouting. GPS act crazy. We don't know where we're going. If you've been lost for an hour, you wasted gas. You wasted time. You wasted the opportunity at being where you're supposed to be. And most of you, it's not that you're lost. You've been lost too long. So here's what I'm telling you. If you love the Bathshebas that are at home, you got to find yourself. Because Bathsheba has no one to console them but you. But you. But you. I want to pray for you because I feel the tension. But I want you to not just leave here saying, "Oh my God, I gotta get me together." You can't get me together in a day. It may take you a while to wash yourself. Some of us take longer showers than others.